Welcome to A Taste of AZ podcast, where we interview everyone from James Beard award-winning chefs to local mixologists, winemakers, breweries, and so much more. We've got an awesome episode lined up for you today. But before we get into that, head to atasteofaz.com so you can subscribe to our quarterly magazine and email newsletter to find all of the best places to eat and drink around town. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Now let's get into the episode.
All right, we're here at the one and only Crêpe Bar. Did you see that I put this shit up here?
That's why I was like, dude,
Right?
that looks so good.
I think that's really cool. Is that like 3D printed?
So a Crêpe Bar homie,
Yeah.
he prints 3Ds, and
Yeah.
he sent me that one. And he gave me a red one, and he was super stoked about it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
cool.
that's really
He
cool.
Does a great job.
I almost was like, all right, do I have to like unscrew this off the shelf? And it just came right off. So
Yeah.
actually, we shouldn't share that. Someone's gonna
Right,
take
somebody's
that.
gonna take it. Well,
That means a lot, though, man. Someone wants to steal the Crêpe Bar thing. Hell yeah,
it's pretty sick, huh?
dude.
Yeah,
Jeff
this looks
Kraus, welcome back to the show, man. Cheers,
Thank
my
you.
friend.
Cheers, brother.
This
Cheers.
one, the first one in person.
I know, it's
Yeah.
weird. That's what I was gonna say. I didn't get this last time. You photoshopped it in, I think.
Yeah, you got my pandemic haircut last time.
Oh my god.
You were episode number 4.
Whoa.
You were the 4th episode,
what?
man.
And how
Yeah.
many have you? How many have you done?
Shit, man, we're at like over 150 now.
What?
Yeah. And
Damn.
this is it was, I think it was Brett Vibber, Mark Ryan, Tamara Stanger, and then you.
Yeah.
And I think Adam was number 5, Adam
Yeah.
Allison. So
Culinary OGs right there.
I didn't have an opportunity to try your amazing eggs the first episode too. Dude, Jeff hooked me up with those were by far the most amazing eggs that I've ever
Thanks,
had.
brother.
Just scrambled eggs.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
just cooked right.
Yeah.
Cooked properly.
Damn, how do you cook an egg properly? Like,
Man.
how can you tell somebody you got 20 seconds? How do you tell them to make an egg correctly?
Aerate
What's
them.
that mean?
Just egg by itself. Aerate
Okay.
them. Get a pan. Start out high. Drop it low. Drop
Yeah.
some little butter in it. Drop the eggs.
Yeah.
Shake until it's like silky smooth, little soft curdles. Done.
That's what the aerating is. Like
Yeah.
when you put it in the pan and you
It
start
almost
to
fluffs them.
Yeah.
Like with, you know what I mean? It's almost like a souffle without
Okay.
making it a souffle.
Yeah.
And then you just cook it. And that's why they're so. Look at that orange, yellow. You know what I mean? It's so bright.
I
There's
can't
nothing
see
to
them.
it.
I ate them all.
That's the one dish Adam always asks for. Chef
Yeah.
Adam. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah. He's always like, dude, just make me some eggs.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I make some pretty good scrambled eggs at home, but that's like nothing. Like that's
Appreciate you, man.
next
Did
level.
I hit
And
that
the
20-second
noble
time? That was 20 seconds. Now you know how to do it.
All right, try it again. No. No, dude, thanks for coming back on the
Yeah,
show,
man.
man. Always good seeing you. We saw each other at the Burger Throwdown at Handlebar Diner a
Yeah.
few weeks ago. We were fellow judges.
Yeah.
I like to kind of add in just kind of some color commentary to those type of things. You brought some expertise to it, man. Like when we were tasting the burgers, pairing them with the beers, I learned a lot from you as
Oh,
far as
man.
like the 5 flavors you were talking
Yeah,
about. We
yeah.
can only sense
Yeah.
Is it 5 flavors?
5 tastes.
5
Yeah,
tastes.
flavors are all day. That's it.
Yeah.
Like flavors are like through the roof.
Okay.
You know what I mean? 5
Yeah.
tastes. You can't. That's it. You got
You're
5
limited.
tastes. You got
Yeah.
the umami. You got the bitter. You got the sweet, the sour.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
What are you missing, Jeff?
Did I say sour? Bitter.
Better.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
your 5. There's your 5.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
dude, there's a Audible. I think it's only on Audible. It's like an Audible exclusive, but it's Quincy Jones, and it's called 12 Notes, and
Okay.
it's like his 12 lessons of life. The dude's like 90 some years old, and he's still
Yeah.
like kicking ass, right? So the book is 12 Notes, and basically it's 12 life lessons, and it's all related to music and his career and all this. But he was told that like early on, he's like, you have the same 12 notes as Mozart, Beethoven.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with those 12
Yeah.
notes, right? Those
Yeah.
are the
It's
5
the same.
tastes.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
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 And then flavors you just get to play. That's like bringing it all together. That's like
Yeah.
the the pizzazz.
Yeah.
But you can't mess with taste. The
For
taste it's got to be balanced.
Yeah. When we taste the burgers with beers,
Yep.
and I feel like for me, pairings go well when they're similar
Yeah.
taste, or
Yeah.
they're almost contrasting
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of taste, right?
And
We
that's
had
usually
kind
what
of
I look
both those.
for.
The contrasting?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. That's exciting.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? Like if not, it's like you just get overwhelmed. It's like, you know what I mean? Everything just tastes the same.
Mhm.
And then you're palate fatigue and you're like, you know what I mean? No more. I don't want any more.
I know.
You know, that's
Yeah,
it.
Exactly.
But I learned a lot from you too, though.
Oh,
That friggin'
hell
beer.
yeah. Oh,
the
Pilsner.
Pilsner.
Yeah, bippity boppity Italian Pilsner.
Man,
Simple
and
machine.
then your Pilsner.
Oh,
the
yeah,
rosemary,
Taste of AZ.
Man, I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
right now, that's a game changer because
Yeah.
I've always been the hazies or the sours.
Yep.
And then I hit that, and I was like, man, what the hell is this? You remember? I mean, they gave
You
us
were blown away.
dude. It was a game changer.
Yeah.
And now that's what I'm looking for. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I wouldn't have ever ordered it, wouldn't even have even considered it. And then
Yeah.
I had that taste, and that was that with Chef Matt's
Yeah,
dish.
his like Italian,
The
like
focaccia, the parm, yeah,
the
dude.
winner. That was the
That
winner
was the
of
winner.
the yeah.
That whole combination was next level.
Yeah.
But then I just went back for that beer. I didn't care about any other burgers. I was like, dude, can I just get this bibbity boppity boop, or whatever that is?
You
Give-
forgot you were at a burger throwdown. You're like, are we in a tap room right now? Yeah.
I'll take another, please.
Yeah, dude. So I have to introduce you to Marshall. Marshall, the head brewer, owner of Simple Machine.
Okay.
I told him you loved his beer,
Yeah.
and he wants to meet you.
Oh, cool.
So I'm like, dude, we got to make some sort of connection. He wants to do more things with food, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the point of a Taste of AZ Pilsner is to have a beer that is specifically engineered to go complement food, right? Because you get what I like about the Italian Pilsner and the Pilsner we did,
Yep.
it's a little bit more of a hop to it. It's
Yeah.
got a little bit more of a bite. It doesn't fade into the background like a Miller
No,
Lite or Coors
no.
Light or those mass produced. Those are. I think it's a Pilsner. I should probably know
Yeah,
this, but
I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are flat to me, and I think
Yeah.
that's why I've never looked at those beers.
Yep.
But both of those beers, like when they gave us the bucket, they gave
Yeah.
us a variety bucket.
Yep.
I was swapping them out, dude, for those two pills. I was like, dude, if I'm helping cleaning, I'm gonna get the beer I want. So
For sure.
I took a bucket, dude.
Yeah.
Took them home, and I was like, I cracked open the rosemary one. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Your
Yeah.
Pilsner, and I was like,
Well, ours is not a rosemary one.
oh, what was it?
Matt wanted it to be a rosemary one. Remember, Matt wanted them. So ours is just a Pilsner. It's just like
okay.
yeah. But he wanted to do a rosemary because his burger had
had the
rosemary,
rosemary.
and he
Okay.
wanted because what is it? Greenwood Brewing does a rosemary IPA.
Okay.
So that's kind of what he was thinking. and he
Oh
wanted
man.
to-
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe
then
you
did-
tasted rosemary in it. I don't know, man. You might
I
have
don't
dropped
know.
it into Matt's burger or something. It had some remnants in
Or
it.
Adam did rosemary too. Did he?
Adam did pumpkin. Remember, he
Okay.
did the
And then
pumpkin.
he had the rosemary twig in because he wanted to light it on fire.
That's right.
as a
that's
skewer?
right. Yeah.
Okay. Was that with your beer?
No, that was with Grand Canyon pumpkin
Dude, you got a
porter or
Rain
something.
Man memory.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can remember all that, dude. I don't know. I drank
I
too
do
many
got
bibbity bops.
Exactly. Oh shit, man. Well, dude, once again, thanks for having me back in. In for the first time for a
Yeah.
podcast. I've been here many times as
Yeah.
a patron.
Yeah.
My wife loves this place too.
Thanks, brother.
Love the granola. Do you still serve the granola
Yeah,
as like
oh, man.
a little appetizer?
That will never ever not be. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Everybody gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you package it now. You've been packaging it probably for a few years now, right?
Yeah, it's going to eventually go to scale, but we'll get more of it out when we open up the Mesa location, the Tortoise and Hare.
Yeah.
Like we'll have a lot of the stuff we make in house here.
Yeah.
Out over there for sale in the retail.
Like a little retail spot.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice, man.
yeah.
Nice. Well, I think when we first did the episode, I think you were just kind of getting into having you had some hot sauces and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Where's that at this point? Like,
same,
are you?
same?
Yeah?
It's pretty much. I mean, we sell so much of it in house.
Yeah.
That's did I give you hot sauce?
I don't think so. No.
Oh man,
You did before.
I had
if
a
you
little-
have some.
I had a little.
Oh
bullet.
no, you did right there. Yeah.
yeah, you got it.
Dude,
Same.
those eggs were so good. I didn't even need hot
That's
sauce.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. But that's the same thing. So
Yeah.
I mean, Crêpe Bar, fortunately, thankfully, is busy. Like we hit our 11-year anniversary in July.
Dude, congrats, man.
And man, the support for us in the community is next level.
Yeah.
So we're busy.
Yeah.
And I, we're off 2 days in a row. I'm a firm believer to give, everybody 2 days off, especially the leadership team, management team. So production of all this, the trickiest part is looking at scaling it,
Yeah.
finding a co-packer, right?
Okay. Sure.
Or becoming our own co-packer. I think that's where we're at right now. And I think
Okay.
Mesa is going to open up that door for us to create a little space so we can produce more.
Okay.
Here, dude, we're maxed out.
Sure.
Like we are,
Yeah.
we are at the max. Like we're
Yeah.
at the balloon's just about to, you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
get so close. It's like, and then you get that little whistle because we let some air out and
Yeah.
keep pushing it to the limits. But
Yeah.
we do what we do in house and sell quite a bit of it. But eventually it will go to scale.
And as far as is that the goal is to be able to get Crêpe Bar granola in like a Whole Foods or something like that?
Man, Whole Foods. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I want to go bigger than Whole Foods.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Well, Whole Foods, dude. They take. I mean, it's a little. I'm learning the market game, right?
Okay.
Like they want your price to be so low. You know what I mean? And then it's like, you got to do a lot of volume.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool to have a Whole Foods, stamp of like, yeah, I got my stuff in Whole Foods, but I want to be bigger than that, man. You know what I mean? I want some of these like Shamrock and US Foods and like Performance and all these specialty places to like really push it out. And on the homegrown stuff, I'd love to get subscription based.
Okay.
So get, a variety of flavors and holiday flavors and get it all over because we ship it everywhere, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
so what you can order on your website?
No, they just call me.
Oh,
They just call. They just email.
School.
I'm still.
You guys have a phone number? Do you,
Well,
you have a house phone here?
I get the emails, and it's like we have like repeat, buyers.
Yeah.
They want to ship it out for gifts, and then, I mean, we'll do like 8-10 bags at a time. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool. But again, it's like a lot of extra.
I see. That's a lot of work. That's a business in itself.
It is. Truly is. And co-packers are weird with this.
Okay.
Not to give you the secret sauce, but I'm gonna give you the secret sauce.
Please do.
We basically make, all the ingredients, it balances all the 5 tastes. First off, all the ingredients is like next level great. But the way we do it, like most granola is like you put everything in a pan, you throw it in the oven, roast it off, be done.
Yeah.
Well, this is like 3 steps, dude.
Okay.
We take basically brown sugar, maple, salt, seasoning. Then we cook that into a caramel, put that into the dry, bake that off, bring that out, add fat, olive oil, and then add fruit, and then mix it and then store it, and then you know what I mean? So that's multiple steps, and co-packers are like, yo, we're not set up for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are you a candy or are you a granola?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, well, it's a hybrid. You know what I mean? It truly is.
Yeah.
But they don't have the space because
Sure.
of the caramel, the making of the caramel, and that's what gives that little crunchy, that Maillard, like little, you know what I mean? Like, man, it makes you go back for more and more.
For
That's
sure.
basically in that cooking technique.
And you're not willing to sacrifice that for
No,
good for you, man.
Not even. Yeah, it's not worth it for me.
Because then it isn't what it is.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Then it's
right?
different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, then it's like any other granola. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. So I think ultimately, like space, like if we don't find that packer to do that, well, when Mesa gets up and running, we're gonna have space. Like we might just become our own processors. You know?
Sure.
What I mean?
Yeah.
And then because we got the maple line. We got the flaky salts, the gourmet salts, you know what I mean, that we make in house. What else? The hot sauce.
Yeah. Wait, you got what's the salt?
So the finishing salt for every dish that comes out, you either got a smoky, like an adobo, sea salt for the garnish, right?
Yeah.
Even though we were talking about the taste balance, right? You got 1%, 1.25%. Your palate can handle on salt. But there's a lot of people. Taste is subjective,
sure.
Right?
Yeah,
so we hit it for what we can. We on the taste, salt, bitter, sour, all that. Well, we have the finishing salt, so it makes sense for the dish. And then if anybody wants more salt, I'm not one of those chefs. Like, no, you know what I mean. Here's some nice salt.
Tell that guy go fuck himself.
No salt for you. You know what I mean? Okay, here you go. Here's some good salt.
Exactly,
And that's kind of the idea. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of when I first started, like we weren't doing that, and then I started realizing, like, man, taste is so subjective.
Sure.
We got to do our best to balance everything out. But if they want salt, then we should have salt that makes sense for the dish.
Sure.
So we have a cherry pepper, sea salt for the papakas and for the fontinas and the veg, and then we have an adobo, like smoked salt for the chipotles, the street tacos, right, and the burrito. So we just kind of mess with it. And we have a coffee salt for the pork belly and for the egg for the Grand Prix.
Dang.
Yeah.
And you sell all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like if someone came in, they're like, "Hey, can I purchase some of this?"
Yeah.
You're like, hell yeah.
And you see the retail behind me; it's all empty.
I know. I was gonna say, where is this shit, Jeff? Like, come on, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's so hard to keep up with it. Yeah, it's wild. It's a good problem to have. You know,
for sure. For sure. And I like the fact that you still have it on the radar, right? Because I mean, obviously, the Crêpe Bar that's the machine, right? Yeah. That's the thing that's running everything. That can't be the priority over Crêpe Bar. Yeah. But you still keep good. Yeah. You're like, I ain't giving up on this shit.
No. I mean, it's one of those things. It's such a beautiful thing.
If you're watching this, I keep looking at the camera to make sure the camera's still running. Jeff thinks people are coming through the front door. It's like, oh shit.
Pause. I gotta go make some eggs.
Exactly.
Welcome in.
So sorry. Yeah, go ahead. So
it's cool. I just want people to have it. You know what I mean? I think that's what the pandemic did for me, was to like get me to look at this model differently. And one of the things, like, remember, like we talked about me starting off with the farmer's market.
Yeah.
I love being out there.
Yeah.
Especially at the markets and like special events. Like people are there, they're wanting to be there. And for the most part, everything that they've got going on in the world, and this is what we try to create here in the restaurant, but it's different when you're at an event. Everything that's going on in the world, these people come into these like farmers markets and special events, it gets put out in the gate. You know what I mean? They're coming in, they're full of energy, they're excited.
Yep.
And it's like, for me, that's the best. And that's kind of what the idea was when the pandemic came. I was like, man, we got to get the dining experience. We got to get everybody to leave their problems at the door, and we got to get food in front of them that makes them excited and makes them stoked. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So that's the idea of that retail.
Well, I would say I would assume that, you know, you got people from all around the state coming here too, right? Like, I mean, obviously you probably have a great neighborhood, you know, fan base.
Yeah.
But I tell everybody about Crêpe Bar, right? You know, so people are like, oh, dude, if I'm driving, I'm coming from Flagstaff to Tucson. I'm like, dude, get off on Elliott and, you know, go check out Crêpe Bar.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But don't do it on Mondays or Tuesdays. I think I told somebody on a Monday, they're like, dude, like, I'm here. They call me. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. My bad, man. My bad. I grew up here.
I live around the corner. So
all right, I'm gonna give you your number.
If you ever do that again.
Yeah. All right. The door code is so all right. Man. So we've got hot sauce, we've got salt, we've got the granola, and also you got your own Crêpe Bar coffee, man. Custom blend. Well, I think that's how we got introduced was Jason Calhoun, right?
Yeah.
Brewmaster at the Shop Beer Co. Who a lot of people don't realize his beginning was coffee.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I became friends with him on Facebook several years ago, and I'm like, dude, I'm looking at his pictures, you know, Facebook stalking him. I'm like, man, this guy's in like Colombia and shit. Like he's
with no beard. Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Jason, nice move on growing the beard. Like, you know, that's a better look on you now. But it is funny when people have beards for so long and they shave it. It's almost like were you doing that so you could cover up your little chin, or like what?
Your little face, little fella, we call it. It's pretty funny, dude. But he started this.
Yeah.
Like that like, and this dates this machine. That's his old machine, dude.
Okay.
Like that was from him, like back in his barista days.
Yeah.
And he started this whole coffee program for me.
Yeah.
Like it was me and him, like nights, like. And he was around when I did the granola.
Okay.
Like we were trying to figure out like how do we create a dining and coffee experience? Like how do we bring that together and, you know, be that place that other coffee shops, other cafes are like, damn, that's a cafe, but they're serving great coffee.
Yeah.
And then how do we get the coffee shops to be like, damn, they're doing that kind of coffee in that space, you know, and their food.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do just a lot to inspire people. And sure enough, we're trying to figure out like a bunch of stuff. He was trying to figure out that whole area, because this used to be a coffee shop.
Okay.
So it wasn't designed any other way than what they had it.
Sure.
So I'm in the back doing the granolas and recipe testing, and he's in the front like just going through SOPs and trying to get stuff set up. And sure enough, dude, I don't even know, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just half this size, you know? And he was running around, dude, he's funny.
Yeah.
Like he's one of the hardest working people. Genuinely loves this hospitality industry, like loves people, loves taking care of people, making, you know, he wants to make sure everybody has a great experience.
Yeah.
This dude, like it would just be me and him in the beginning, and we'd have people coming through, and you know, we would just have our little side things to keep us entertained. But anytime he'd see a table wobble, it didn't matter if he was in the middle of pouring milk, like he knew it. It was like a radar going off, and he'd just pop up, dude, and he'd just run to the table.
Yeah.
And I'd catch him in the back, and this was before we had an open kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'd see him through the little window. I'm like, what the? And then it dawned on me what he was doing. He couldn't stand the wobbly tables, or the temperature being weird.
Yeah.
Like that was like two things that would set him off: wobbly tables and like the temperature being weird.
Yeah.
Like he'd hear it or feel it or something, and I'm like, can you just auto program that?
Dude.
He was like the auto program person. He was on it.
Yeah. Well, so what was temp for him? Like, what was?
I don't even know.
Now I know how to mess with him. If I'm going to go to the shop and I'm going to like uneven all of the tables, I'm going to crank that heat up. But dude, so that's really interesting, you know, because I've always known, you know, Jason's a badass, right? Yeah. And he's great at what he does. But if you really kind of look at it and dissect it, like, you know, what he's been behind, like Cartel and helping you get this thing. And now he's the dude behind arguably the most popular beer in Arizona. Yeah. Right. I mean, I think I do love Tower Station. I love church music even more.
Yeah.
Church music is, I mean, that's the new, I think that's the new, the OG, the new OG. That doesn't even make sense. That's the new, like top, you know? So shout out to Jason Calhoun at the Shop Beer Co. And I know that the whole team's great. And I know, you know, he's not solely responsible for that, but
Yeah.
at this point, he's the guy who's responsible for church music.
Man, I've went in there while he's doing his work.
Yeah.
And you talk about like kitchens being hot. Man, that
Right.
area that he's in, I'm like, the kitchen is cold.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like much cooler than what they deal with. Yeah, I have mad respect for him, man. I love him. He's a great dude.
Yes, shout out Jason Calhoun. Nice work,
Keep that
buddy.
beard. Keep that beard, Calhoun.
Beard. Dude, the beard's impressive.
Yeah.
Like I've seen straggling hairs. I'm like that hair is like 2.5 foot long. Like how is that? It's like it's it's like his beard has beards. It's incredible.
It's a beard on top of a beard. He's got layers of beards.
But you're right. Just such a sweet dude. Like just a caring person, and he's quiet. He's a very quiet guy.
Yeah.
But you get talking to him, and he's super.
Yeah. You put some punk
Jason
on or something like that.
Oh, dude, the music in the shop sometimes. You see him up there just.
He gets on it.
So, we're kind of talking about this a little bit before we started recording, and we've talked about it several times over the last couple of years. Is that's your domain back there, the kitchen, right? But over the last few years, you've been working to kind of delegate some things, right? And get your kind of expand your brand, right? So what's that adventure been like?
Oh man. I mean, it's an adventure that keeps on going.
Sure.
Like it's still an adventure. Like Chef T is still with me, man. She's been
nice. Hell yeah. I was going to ask. Yeah.
So being able to hand things off to her and trust it, she treats this place as her place.
Yeah.
The kitchen is her kitchen.
Yep.
And it feels pretty great. Sometimes I miss being in there.
Sure.
We're going through some transitions now with a new manager, and I'm in here quite a bit. And T's like, you just stay in the front. I got the back. My back is good because I'm asking about the schedule, like who's in, trying to help the new GM with SOPs. And she's like, you both. You just focus on the front. My kitchen's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's got like a lot, like tape on the floor, like no Jeff.
Yeah. This is the no Jeff zone. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's pretty great. Like it's been, I mean, I love being in here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
sure.
I'm not in here very often. We're working on the project in Mesa. That's Tortoise and Hare. That deal's been signed since November of 2021. You know what I mean? And we just got the green light to get bids for the construction of the concept in.
Yep.
So the bids are in. Now it's just review processing. You know what I mean? And we're hoping to start construction for the concept late November.
Okay. Nice.
More than likely, probably the beginning of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Knowing these guys. But it's going to be pretty awesome, man. It's like, you did it again, dude.
Did.
I'm like,
so there's a little red light at the top corner. As long as that's on, we're good. So I have to check, and my eyes are bad. So I have to.
I mean, you're looking straight into the sun. I'm like, he's like, can you see yourself in the mirror? I'm like, or in the camera. I'm like, I can't see anything, dude.
I can't see shit, dude.
I need a sunglasses. Tortoise and Hare, breakfast, brunch, breakfast for dinner.
Yeah.
Adam Allison, Chop Champion, my best buddy. You know what I mean?
Adam's the shit, man.
Does a lot for the community.
Yep.
He's just a great dude. I'm looking forward to rocking this out with him. And this has been a concept in the works also before the deal was even signed. We knew a Tortoise and Hare was going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
And we thought it was going to be not here. We thought it was going to be somewhere else. We looked in Chattanooga with his family.
That's right. Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
And the way that name came up, man, this dude, Adam and I, our birthdays are pretty much the same.
Okay.
Right? So Virgos, you would think that we would be spinning images of it.
Sure.
No. I'm like, my checklists are thorough. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like check, times check. That's with everything I do. When I get up in the morning, check. You know, when I go to sleep, check. In the middle of the day, check. This dude just rolls.
Yeah.
He just rolls with it. You know what I mean? And I've got, the pre-TSA. I can get into pre-check, you know, global entry. I don't have to do all the security stuff. And we're coming back from Chattanooga, or we're going to Atlanta. We're running late. Adam's driving. You know what I mean? He's like, we'll get there. We're going to be fine. And I'm like, blood pressure's going through the roof. I'm like, dude, we got to get there.
Yeah.
We get to the airport, and I'm like chucking, dude. I'm trucking, like, I'm moving. And here he is with his flip-flops, his little broken rolly bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rolling through, his hat on. He's just kind of like nonchalant. I'm like, dude, we're going to miss this fucking flight. We got to get there. And sure enough, I get through my security, and this son of a is waiting for me at the end of security.
Oh,
he went through quicker than I did. I'm like, how is that possible, dude? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, it hit me. I was like, dude, that's the name of the concept. And I said, turtle and the rabbit. He's like, what? I'm like, the rabbit and the turtle, that the folk story. And he's like, he goes, you mean Tortoise and Hare? And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, dude. That's the name.
Yeah.
And sure enough, all the way back from the flight back, and we've always just been watering that seed. And sure enough, the Mesa project came up, and it just made sense.
Yeah.
Dig it. It's a big wheel.
Yeah.
It's a big wheel.
That's a big space, right? So you guys are like right downtown Mesa.
Yeah.
Like the up and coming place in Arizona.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm not even just in the valley.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, it's cracking.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on down there. We're right across from Proof, right across from a Spirit 2, right across from Niles. You know what I mean? Taco Chihuahuas.
Yep.
It's going to be, it's already exciting. And
So
we're
what
not even started.
What exactly is it going to be, right? Because, breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? Type of, like, you can get that other places.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
so
different than tortoise hair.
So breakfast, brunch, breakfast for dinner. The idea, Adam comes in for the dinner part, right? And we collaborate on brunch, full bar, full everything, right? And then the breakfast, I'm super stoked about. So we're basically taking the slow food mentality, right? And creating a space for people to come and go, but same kind of vibe here. You know what I mean? We're never trying to rush people out. Come in, relax, have a good meal, be inspired, do your thing. But the breakfast is my jam.
Sure.
So I took all the 7 continents, took my favorite breakfast from each, and I put my spin on it. Yeah. And then that's what I'm going to roll with.
Dude.
And then for the special, everybody's got a porridge. Everybody's got some kind of oats. Somebody, all the continents have some kind of pancake.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some kind of skillet. And I'm just going to play with it like that.
I like that, man.
And make those like the specials, right?
Okay. Sure.
For the season. And then keep the menu 13 to 15 items. Make it fun. Just make it exciting.
Nice.
Make it easy for people to learn how to make, because quality control is a big thing for me. You know what I mean? Like that's got to be a thing. And we talked about it. I'm at a level where I got to be a coach. I got to be a side manager. I got to be the owner. Yep. Do you know what I mean? Like my biggest fear of opening this place is wanting to be a player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I just want to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I gotta like, those are the boundaries I gotta set. So just creating the recipes, the SOPs, so that I can play if I need to, but I need to stay at this level. I need to stay in my lane, and that's coach, manage, and own the team. You know what I mean? I
dig it, man. I dig it.
It's pretty exciting.
So I heard a quote. If people listen to this podcast, if you really pay attention, you're probably like, I've heard this quote 50 times, right? I heard this quote about a year ago, but it really made sense, right? Is I'm brand new I never wanted to own a business, right? Like I come from, Steel City area. Like you just kind of fell in part of the machine, right? You're a worker bee. So for me, owning a business wasn't even ever a thing. And now I can't think of anything else, right? Like that's what I want to do. But you always hear, you can really start to elevate your brand when you're able to outsource things, right? You really are able to grow when you can outsource things. But this quote that I heard was like, you can really grow when you're outsourcing things, but when you outsource the things you don't like to do, or you're not good at, but you really, really escalate things when you outsource the things that you like to do. Right. Yeah. Because just because you like to do it doesn't mean that that's the best spot for you, or that you're the best person to do that. Like I like taking photos, and I always love taking photos, and nothing against, Luke, my business partner, but he's so damn good at taking photos. I don't even want to take photos anymore. He inspired me not to do photos, but that wasn't where my strength was, right? Like, I'm like, I can't, that's not me. Like, I'm not behind the camera, and once I also saw what a professional photographer goes through. Yeah. It's not just a matter of, oh, cool, set it up.
Catching that angle.
Yeah, he's like lights, and he's getting this, and it's like, so Luke, thank you for uninspiring me to be a photographer.
You saved him some time.
All of us, yeah. Hey, let's
Luke is good, though. Luke is good.
Luke's incredible.
Man, even on a little granola snack. Yeah. He's intense. Yes. Like he's like trying to get the right angle, the right picture, just on a little snack. I remember like the last time you guys were around doing photos, I'm like, this dude. Yep. Like you can't mess with him.
He gets all the lighting right, where it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's good.
Let's take a quick break for a message.
A real quick reminder, head over to atasteofaz.com and subscribe to our email newsletter. Also, subscribe to A Taste of AZ magazine and get it shipped right to your door. Now let's get back into today's episode.
And we're back. Luke, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut off the compliments from Jeff to you, but Luke would understand. We have to restart and get a message in. But no, Luke's incredible. He's a great photographer. Just a great business partner too. Like we complement each other so well in our skills. And we are getting to that point where we are starting to outsource some things, right? Yeah. And it's hard. Like you being because I'm very much like you too. I got checklists. I've
Yeah.
got things like here's what and I'm kind of a control freak in
Yeah.
some ways, not so much in a matter of I don't think somebody else can do it.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm good enough to communicate to somebody else
Yeah.
how to do it
Yeah.
the way that I
Yeah,
do it,
yeah.
or and we're at a point where it's like, you know what? Give them the basics. Like
Yeah.
here's what the goal is.
Yeah.
Let them do it their way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Same for you.
The
You
same.
kind of deal with
Man, I
that.
can relate on
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning of this, I had
Sure.
no clue what I was doing. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
yeah.
I'm like, but I also didn't have a clue really how to manage or how to lead or how to teach, how to coach, how to be
Yeah.
a chef. I knew how to cook.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody around me, I'm like, okay, like I don't know really how to do anything, but so you got to just keep up. You know what I mean? Like, which is not good.
Yeah.
But I'm the same. Like
Yeah.
I still have that like syndrome, if you will.
Sure.
Right? Is that an imposter syndrome in some ways where it's like I don't really trust myself or believe in myself or have confidence enough to be able. So you just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes I have to sit back and just make sure that those basics are very clear. And I've learned that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say SOP, but like just a audible book or a playbook. Danny Meyer was genius on this, right? Like setting the table guy, the Shake Shack guy.
Okay. Yeah.
He oh man, what's the book? Setting the Table. I
Okay.
think if you haven't read it, you got to read it.
Okay.
Like
Nice.
it's all about service, right? And he talked about in the beginning when he started all of his restaurants, and he was from St. Louis,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's a little bond there, right?
Heck yeah.
But he always said he would never close a restaurant if he didn't want to. Like there would be nothing that would stop him from like keeping a business open.
Okay.
He would close it when he wanted to.
Meaning
Right.
like it could be struggling and losing money and all this, but if he wanted to keep it going,
Because he
keep it
was
going.
business savvy.
Yeah.
Like he was smart. He had all of his playbooks in place so
Yeah.
that there was no real reason that his restaurants would struggle.
Yeah.
Like his checklists were so thorough. But then he found after time his playbook was too strict.
Mm.
So then he went back and rewrote it, and it became an audible book,
Okay.
like a book of audibles, right? So if you had like, let's just say a table, a 4-top, and they all have food and they're not eating it. Well, guess what? You're like, he trains like, okay, nobody's going to tell you it sucks, but you just have to take it upon yourself and know that something's up.
Sure.
So he trains all of his staff to come in and be like, yo, I see you didn't really eat the savory. You want something sweet?
Yeah.
And then just go into, right, their audibles of trying to get food in front of them.
Yep.
And a plate in front of them that is going to come back empty.
Sure.
Right. So
Yeah.
they have audibles to figure out how to maneuver, navigate those tricky little situations. You know
Which
what I
you
mean?
need to, right? You need to, because if this is how it is,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the playbook.
Yeah.
It's like, well, dude, we're running we're up the middle, and
Yeah.
they've got 11 guys in the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
do that.
We're in
Don't audible.
trouble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
You're toast.
Yeah.
So the same kind of thing. And that's what I'm learning still along this way. Right. So handing stuff off, learning how to delegate the things that I really love.
Yeah.
That's the hardest. We just said
Sure.
that. So having that audible though, so that I can feel confident in myself of handing that off, and
Yeah.
then also setting it up for others to be successful. That's my biggest thing now.
Yeah.
Right. Am I setting them up for complete success? Or is there room for interpretation of what success looks like and is?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at this level, especially when you're dealing with higher level players,
Yep.
like there really can't be room for interpretation of what is expected.
Sure.
How they get there, sure, that's your audible.
Yeah.
Get there and however you want to. But
Yeah.
the end goal is we've got to win this game. We've
Sure.
got to get a touchdown, whatever sport analogy you want to do.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that egg is golden
Yep.
and smooth and silky.
For
You know what
sure.
I mean? Or the toast is golden brown. How you get there, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
if
that
you got to switch hands,
yeah,
if
it
that's your
doesn't matter.
process,
You know what I mean?
like turns out like that.
yeah.
You did it.
And
Yeah.
you have a time frame. Like everything, like that's something I've learned big time, right? Like ticket times. This restaurant business is hard.
Yeah.
Like, it is
brutal.
extreme, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody in their right mind who wants to come in that's outside of this industry and is like, I want to buy a restaurant. And they don't know what it is that they're getting themselves into,
Sure.
or they truly don't have the hospitality in their bloodline.
It's gonna be brutal.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and you're not going to make all the money you think you're going to make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like chess trying to figure out all the pricing and all the, you know what I mean? All the ups and downs and the ebbs
Yeah.
and flows. But the thing is, it's like, okay, we got a time frame on ticket times, right? 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. So all we need to know is that these items have to be like this in this time frame.
Yep.
And it's pretty inspiring to watch some of these young cooks, young chefs come in And now they know, okay, I need this dish to look like this in this time frame. And the way they get to that, it's pretty special to watch. You know what I mean? So I think with this level now, training and bringing in management, new managers and like GMs and like operations and stuff like that, having the audible on that level. Because I could tell anybody in 20 seconds how to cook an egg, you know what I mean? But like having a manager tell a manager how to manage, or like, that's a different level. But it's a different level.
Yeah.
But it's the same concept. Got to have an audible book. You know
For sure. Yeah. Well, in this industry too is like, I mean, especially like, you know, you got summer in Arizona and people, a lot of people said this summer is more brutal than others.
Yeah.
And people were just like, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the variables of, you could have everything lined up, but you know, that to me, that's kind of a hard thing to wrap my mind around, because if something's not working, to me, it's like, cause I'm not doing something right, or I'm not putting enough into this, or it's not always that simple. Right.
So there's a lot of variables we can't control. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I think the effort shows a lot.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Summers are notoriously slow. Like we saw a little bit of a dip, but not too extreme.
Okay.
And I think when you start seeing dips is when you really have to look at the book that everybody's playing in.
Yeah.
Because I think there's always options and there's always like solutions, right?
Sure.
Things to offer. And I think the excitement of kind of changing things up really makes a difference. And I think that's what we usually do. We know it's going to be chill in the summer.
Yep.
We try not to cut staff. We just try to create a space so that they could be more creative.
Sure.
And then they're more excited. That word of mouth then becomes people are coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like how the management team here works for the slow times.
I dig it, man. I dig it. Yeah. Because you create that team and that culture, that there's ownership on everybody's part. Right.
Yeah.
And they're excited. They're not just like, oh fuck, I got to go to work. It's like,
oh man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are short-lived, like around, especially around here.
Yeah.
Crêpe Bar has always been that place. And this is what I want Tortoise and Hare to be too. And I want that. And we have to create an action plan to make that happen. Right. Is to be a place where people are excited to be at, excited to want to work at, and then a place where they don't really want to leave. But if they do, they should be excited and celebrate that. You know what I mean? Because it's the next level up for them.
For sure.
But that's the kind of that I never want. I don't want to be around anybody like that. Where I'm like, I'm tired. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That for me, that's a short relationship that doesn't last long.
For sure. That's like Buffalo Wild Wings employee type things, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like, man, that's just like a suicide bomb. It's just, you're done.
Yeah.
You're toast.
Yeah. Well, especially in this industry too, right? Like it's a brutal industry anyways. And I think mindset is so crucial.
Yeah.
You know, but so because I know you and I spoke about a couple things that you're looking to kind of do with Crêpe Bar.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you can share as far as like what the vision looks like, and you'd mentioned next door.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that something you can talk about yet?
I mean, and I'm looking for business partners. You know what I mean? Like there's a great opportunity next door, and it's been like that since I've been here.
Okay.
The place between me and the Anayas, it's a family-owned Mexican restaurant. They're legit. They've been here for they got here right around the pandemic.
Okay.
This is, I think, their third location. Great. This whole complex is weird, but it's all independent. It's all like family-based. You know what I mean? But the space next door, man, it's 1,000. It's like 1,300 square feet.
This is the north, or south of us, closer to.
It's the right when you walk out of Crêpe Bar. What is
okay?
That?
All right. Yeah, that's south.
I see the plane. The planes. I see the planes. Is that north? I don't.
North is behind you.
Okay, so you're south. So south's behind you. It's behind you. Okay. So south. It's wide open, dude.
Yeah.
And the owners of this complex, it's changed hands a few times. They want to see this place fully occupied.
Yeah.
And they hit me up, and they're trying to work a deal where I take that over, and they're giving a pretty big chunk of TI.
Yeah. Nice.
And the rent's super cheap because we're, you know what I mean? Look at the location, but this whole complex is busy.
Yeah.
So my idea is bringing someone in, do a tap room over there, create a little space for people to come to where, you know, they can have some beer, they can chill, can be, you know, cozy, comfortable, you know what I mean? Not crazy with anything other than good things to drink and eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
make it super simple and just make it fun. You know what I mean?
Have some a taste of AZ Pilsner.
That's what I was gonna
church
say.
Music. Yeah. All your
Load
favorites.
it up.
There's gonna be a little tunnel underneath it, like
Right?
that Jeff can just kind of go under. Hey, here, man.
Hey, there you go.
You don't need to go in our tunnel. You'd be the owner, man.
Right.
You'd be just walking right in the front door. But
no, I like coming in the back.
Yeah,
That way
there you go.
somebody knows.
yeah.
Coming nonchalant. And then Crêpe Bar itself, like we're like looking, we brought in a new GM to help just elevate the culture, help clean up, the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
And someone who can use this as a playground, because when Mesa gets going, dude, we need people in there to help create and build teams.
Yeah.
So I mean, literally, this Crêpe Bar is like a playground for experimental like management and trial and error and writing new SOPs to build a bigger team for Mesa, because Mesa's a beast.
Yeah.
That's
going to be well, and that's actually a good point, right? Because I think at this point Adam doesn't have a location. I think he's not very like he's still part of Handlebar on a small scale, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a brick and mortar or anything like. But
he's
so
like a nomad. Like
dude,
like
he
a
is.
Frogger. He's like he's popping up, staying.
Dude, that guy, he impresses me.
Yeah.
Like like when you were talking about going to the airport and him with his flip flops and his hat.
Yeah.
That's him all the time. I see him. He's just so chill. And I was talking to, I think it was Emily. Was she one of the judges? Was that her name, Emily?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And she was telling me, hopefully I'm not throwing anybody under the bus with this, but she helps Matt Meyer from Ansley Table do the guy who won the burger competition. Matt's an awesome dude, but she helps with Ansley Table with his catering. And she said that she was helping Adam one time.
Yeah.
She's like, and Matt sounds like he's very much like you, right? She's like, Matt's got checklists. He's got all this stuff. She's like, I went to go help Adam. There was just a bunch of groceries sitting in a grocery bag on the table. And they're like, whoa, but it seems like that, like some people thrive in that stuff, right? Not me.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, I just collapse, right? But Adam seems like a dude that can deal with chaos.
So that's why he's a chop champion.
Yeah,
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yep.
That's his jam. I mean, he makes magic. Like it always turns out so great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, to get to that point, it seems so stressful to me, but it doesn't faze him. And he makes things pretty freaking delicious. His food is good.
It is. His food's really good. Yeah.
It's craveable.
So you, so I guess to kind of change directions a little bit, like you were in that realm as well. Like you've been on Chopped, you were on the grocery game recently, right?
Yeah.
That's an intense setting, right? What was the show? What was the grocery one?
The supermarket stakeout with Alex Quinicelli.
Yeah. Like, dude, I like watching those shows, and obviously we always watch when you're on there, or somebody that we know, and my wife can't watch it. She's like, this is giving me anxiety. Like, I'm like, could you imagine being there? Right. So is it just chaos?
It's chaos.
Yeah.
I going into so they asked me to come back for season 6.
Okay.
I really was set up to win. Like I was ready to win that. And then I got, again, first round, Chopped the same thing. First round, something about it. It takes me a minute.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To just get into the flow, and it's so intense, and somebody who needs a checklist and like, I need to be organized.
Yeah.
I need to think things through. Those things move so fast.
Yeah.
So going into the season 6, it was kind of a funny thing, because I Supermarket Stakeout, season 5, I think it was episode 4, right? It just aired a few months back. The premise of the show, you have $500, right? And you have to bid for groceries, right? So you have to bid for groceries and cook the theme that they're giving you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we have plenty of time knowing what's up, right?
Yeah.
You got a lot of sit and hurry, like hurry and stop kind of situations. Well, you bid, you only go one at a time on bidding, like 2 at a time can go, right? But then you have to wait your turn. So I told everybody, I was like, I'm going to be the first one up at the door. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've already seen your cardio. I'm the first one up there. There's no question. I'm going to get the first bag, first cart.
Well, to clarify, when you say bid, you mean like people are coming out of the grocery store.
Yes.
Carts full of groceries, and you got to go up and
bid for their groceries.
Try to buy their groceries off.
And the first round, you can't look inside the bags.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, but you can go up as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as you have money in the first round, you can go as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Well, you only have 40 minutes, right? So we're cooking outside. The show is pretty great. Alex Quinicelli, when I knew I was going to go on the show, I was like, oh man, because I watched her on Iron Chef. I'm like, I'm not going to vibe with this chick.
Yeah.
And dude, I couldn't have vibed more.
Dude, that's awesome.
She was so just real, but she gives us all a heads up, like what to do, and kind of gives us a little tips and stuff like that. And she was pretty funny. She told the 3 contestants, especially the 2 there, she's like, I've got you guys got to amp it up. And you know me, I'm like, cameras on, I'm ready to rock.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It could be 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. Late at night, it's a little different, but like in the morning, and this is an early show. She's like, yo, I've got like 10 or 15 years of resting bitch face. She's like, trust me, you're gonna want to smile, and you're gonna look back on this, and you're gonna want to smile.
Yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But buzzer goes off, boom, we run. I'm up there. I'm like, wait, and the other one's coming in, they're trailing, and sure enough, this dude rolls out. Bunch of groceries, and for me, I'm like, I'm gonna get overwhelmed with all these groceries, but I'm gonna take it because it looks like there's a lot going
to
on
work
in
with,
this.
right? Yeah,
Man, and the theme was retro. You got to just watch the show. It was a retro theme. Well, me and this girl's back and forth. We're bidding. She gets it. I was like, dude, I'm not spending all my money on this because I'm planning already. My checklist for the second round, third round is more in effect than me being present. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, whoop. She takes it, and I'm sitting now. Now I'm just sitting waiting because I can't bid again until the next 2 bids.
Clock's ticking though.
Clock's ticking.
Right? Yeah.
So I finally get a bag, and I told the dude it's just me and him. And I'm like, dude, you're not gonna win this. Like, I gotta get this. We got 30 minutes left, 25 minutes left. I've got to get this. And sure enough, I get it. And I get this lady to run back with me because she was going to a birthday party.
Oh yeah.
Right. And in my mind, it was the first day in LA that didn't rain. It hadn't rained.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this girl's birthday party. I see a birthday cake and I see balloons, right? 3 bags. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. 1 bag is got to be proteins, raw proteins for the grill.
Yep.
I couldn't have been more opposite, dude. I couldn't have been more opposite. And the time's ticking. It's like 20 minutes, and that dude's still up there because I can see him. And I'm like, I get through my bags. First bag, dude, was a tray of charcuterie, like the little salami sticks and slices, and then like little cheese cubes. And I'm like, holy shit, like what am I, like, what is this? What is this all about?
Yeah.
Get to the next bag. It's a tray of cookies, cupcakes. And I'm like, oh, dude. And then the third bag is like party favors, dude, and baby food. And I'm like, what the hell? And this dude's still waiting for groceries at the top. So I just cooked. I did a broccoli cheddar soup. I played off like a Campbell's soup.
Yeah.
But I put curry on it, and they beat me up.
They did.
They beat me up hard.
Because they were impressed the fact that you used the baby food.
Yeah. I made basically a base out of it.
Yeah.
I cooked it down, and he's like, that's genius. And I had I'm like going through it, and I'm like straining it, and it was so refined for like a parking lot food. I was like, this soup is delicious. And then in my mind, broccoli curry is one of those things. Curry's a flavor. Yeah. It also adds a little depth, right? Like on the nose. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Well, it was too modern. So like,
oh yeah,
I was like, sure. But it was so intense. The blender's going off. They're in your face, and you got somebody talking to you, right?
Yeah. Like a producer or something?
Yeah. So there's multiple, dude. There's so many people on set, like,
talking in different ears. And
and then the main producers are in the back on the trailers, on the trucks, or in the office. They're spitting out stuff to the producer. Then they're telling us, you know what I mean? Yeah,
I'm getting anxiety thinking about it.
Dude, it's so intense.
I would crumble. Like I wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah.
That's why Adam's good though.
Sure.
Like he's like, what? Okay, I got 5 minutes to cook a 3-4 course meal for 100 people. Okay, you know what I mean?
I could see him just got it.
Yeah. The hat turned.
Oh yeah.
Over the top.
Let's do this. Yeah.
He chugged. And then then it's in the zone. You know what I mean? That's why he's a chop champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that impact you mentally? Like when you're so stoked to do this, and then first round you're out. Like do you beat yourself up about that at all, or do you just kind of like like it is what it is? But
yeah, I mean, you know me, like I'm super competitive in the most friendly ways. So when something like that happens, and I'm like I prepare so long. Like you should see all the notes that I take and all the things that goes through my mind. You know what I mean? Like
without even knowing what you're getting into.
Well, they give us this is a little behind the scenes, right? So they give us 6 possible themes.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then 3 of them are going to be for real.
Yeah.
So for me, like first course, second course, third course, I can play that out, and I had multiple options.
Yeah.
In hopes of finding at least something that resembles a protein or a starch.
Not baby food and
cupcakes. You know what I mean? Like I never planned for that.
Yeah.
Or a tray of like carrots and broccoli and cauliflower and olives. You know what I mean? Like never.
Like Costco. I picture the Costco version.
Yes,
like
dude.
not a good charcuterie board, like a Costco version.
No. And to try to make a meal out of that.
Yeah.
But my first thoughts are like, one, I'm thankful to be even on set. to even have that opportunity. And for me, like, I don't care if it's just one person out of all the hundreds and millions of people who are watching. If I can just inspire one person to do something with baby food, I'm all about it. So I think about it and I'm like, man, did I represent my cooking style? Was it fun? Was it entertaining? And that's what I tell them, like, every time, like, you're not going to forget me. I mean, I'm going to win or lose. That's the black and white, right? Like,
for sure.
There's no other options than that, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I also know that you're not going to forget me. One way or the other, I'm going to do something. So you're like, holy I remember that dude. You know what I mean? And that, to me, after it's all said and done, you got to walk the cart of shame. You gotta pack your shit back up in the cart. You gotta walk off, and you don't want to ever be the first one out. And I told myself, like, Chopped, I like, first round, I'm like, okay, never again. You know what I mean? Well, it was again.
And then again.
So I'm not gonna ever say that again.
Sure.
I'm gonna be prepared for that. I think that's how I'm gonna look at it. So when it's all said and done, I do my walk of shame. I'm like, did I do what I could? You know what I mean? Am I okay with that? Could I have done something different? And then I just start role playing, like, different dishes. And I'm like, okay, then it just builds that repertoire of, like, okay, next time. And then I just chalk it up as, like, you know what I mean? But I still feel like it's a win.
Sure.
Nobody's on, that takes, it's hard to get on those shows. You know what I mean?
Well, you are memorable. Like, you are, like, in the show, because there was the other one too, that you were on for several weeks. Like, you were one of the finalists, right? You were very memorable. And I mean, when you're on those shows, like, I don't know if inside you're more nervous, but you seem to be you when you're on these shows, and,
I love it, man.
people vibe with you, you know, whether it's the judges or the other contestants. So I think you're very memorable. I think you're one of the, like, not just because you're my buddy, but I think you're one of the best on there, because some people get on there, they're great, but, you know, they're just kind of like, oh, I'm here, you know, this. Like, you're Jeff, like, you are you, and you're charismatic. So no, I'm glad you look at it that way. Man. I mean,
thanks, Tom.
It's never 100% of, like, oh, yay, I did it. I got out the first time. That was awesome. Like, of course you're going to be upset, you know, but no, that's a good way to look at it.
Those,
for sure.
Those shows linger too, man. Like the reruns, like Vegas still runs, like even the Chopped episode runs. And since Supermarket Stakeout is this year new, it has run several times, and I've gotten people posted and they're like, man, I miss watching Chef Jeff on TV. And then that just excites me, because I know that they're doing something in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And that, to me, is what it's all about. And that's like I told Chef T, like you just got to do it. Like, you can't even question it. And that scare, turn that fear into excitement. Turn that anxiety into excitement, because that's the same emotion. You know what I mean? And just freaking do it. Like, what's the worst case could happen? You know what I mean? Like, you lose? Okay. Or you just gained so much more. You know what I mean? Yep.
And, you know, it was always, for me, you know, like in high school and stuff, I loved test days because I knew I could get in and out in 20 minutes and then I'd be done, whether I fail or not. You know, like, dude, that class was only 20 minutes today. Usually it's a 2-hour class. I took a test and either I knew it or I didn't, you know, and, you know, you just have but like, for me, like, that is something that I would do too. Like, if I was on something like that and it was a little hot out, I'm like, you know what? Like, if I lose, cool, I can go in the air conditioning now, you know? That's probably why I'm not on those shows, right?
My lady was like, she's like, man, that was quick. And I'm like, thanks, babe. Like, no shit, it was quick. Like, I don't want to hear that
from your lady. No.
I ruined her day. She thought she was gonna have a whole day by the beach by herself.
I didn't even get time to film a drink all the way. Like, come on, man. Well, now I can have a drink with you. It's perfect, right? Yeah.
It's too funny.
So, anything in the forefront of, or in the future, TV wise, like, are you still pushing that, like, trying to, like, make that?
Yeah. So season 6, they asked me right off the rip.
Okay.
That was part of the thing, and that was funny because they were like, "Would you bring back curry?" And I'm like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
You know, yes, I will. Yep, I will.
So you didn't learn your lesson, Jeff? No, I did not.
I love curry.
Yeah, I love curry too. Yeah.
And I'm like, and I don't agree with Alex. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I have interviewed, got some apps in, so I keep pursuing that. That's truly where I shine. I love it. Yeah. And then also, like, for everybody that works with me too, it gets them excited. It's like a big snowball effect of excitement. You know what I mean?
Well, it goes outside these doors too, right? Like, I remember, once again, go back to the Chopped, and that's a tough one, right? Because you know the result. Yeah. Right. Now you have a big watch party at this place. hundreds of people show up
Yeah.
and you're sitting like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh man.
But it goes beyond these walls,
Yeah.
right? This community.
Yeah.
I mean, not just Tempe and
Yeah.
not just Phoenix, but like Arizona and the Southwest. And dude, you're a great representative of this community.
I love it, man.
Yeah, and people get behind you, dude. People
Yeah,
love
it's pretty
to,
exciting.
you know,
Save the stash. That was which is why the stash is still there.
yeah. Have you thought about cutting the stash off?
I mean, it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm hiding a little lip.
Yeah.
It's like the beard.
yeah, you cut it off and you're like, all of a sudden, like, whoa, jeez, he does it.
Yeah,
He's all teeth, man. It goes from nose to teeth. Like,
There's no lip.
yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, that's too funny. That's so season
yeah.
6.
Awesome.
Other stuff, man. I finished a book of affirmations, 13
Oh,
chapters. It's for the culinary industry. It's for
Yeah.
us. It's about just how to survive and thrive and just be yourself and be
Dude, that's
the best you
awesome.
can be in this industry.
Yeah.
Doing book design covers and the back of it now.
Okay.
I'll self-publish the ebook, but it's an affirmation a day. Again, 13 is Baker's dozen, right? So it makes sense.
I
So,
like that.
and I could do it one a day, and it fills for the year.
Yeah.
I mean, one a year, one day for the full year.
So the book's done. Working
Yeah.
on the cover and stuff.
Yeah.
You said, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll
What's-
just launch it
Nice. What's the ETA on that?
soon.
Soon. Okay.
Like I want, I want to do it. Like I want to make it make sense for season 6 if I'm on there and that airs, and you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
for Tortoise and Hare, like
Nice.
I want that stuff to get rolling for that.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's been
Nice,
in the works
man.
for a long time.
If you wanna get to go from E to print, I know somebody who has printing experience.
Oh man,
Us, remember?
yeah, I do remember. Like, and you're working on another book.
We are, yeah. We're between 100 and 150 must-hit restaurants.
Yeah,
Restaurants, bars, breweries across the state. But
Yeah.
you guys are on
Dude.
there for sure.
Cool.
Let's take another quick break, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
A real quick reminder, head over to atasteofaz.com and subscribe to our email newsletter. Also, subscribe to A Taste of AZ magazine and get it shipped right to your door. Now let's get back into today's episode.
From Superstition Meadery,
Oh man,
Jeff Herbert, he's intense. Like,
Is
he's an
he?
intense dude. Like, he's been a firefighter for several years.
intense, just like on edge, or like
No,
just intense
like
with,
focus. Like when you
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
to him, like
yeah.
he's like peering into your
Oh,
soul.
shit,
Like,
right.
yeah, like he's like
You
an
just
owl.
leveled that up.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
No, I know.
baby.
I know. It made me uncomfortable to be him for a second. But no, he's like super fit.
Mm.
He's got like great posture. So he's already kind of like this.
Oh yeah,
He's very confident in his
Yeah,
product.
yeah.
He's very confident in himself.
Yeah.
And he's just like, and you're like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
fierce.
Yeah. And Dwayne was like, Dwayne was more chill, but you could
Yeah.
tell Dwayne was like very much like
he knows his shit.
knows his shit,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Yeah. Have you been? Has Dom been on here?
Dom has been on with Luke.
Okay.
And then I had a podcast set up with Dom 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I had to reschedule because my daughter had to be home. She was sick, so I'm trying to get it set.
Yeah.
But I've never sat down with Dom.
Man, I can't wait because
Yeah.
you're making me think. But he's intense, but he's so approachable. He's
Yeah.
so like, you know what I mean. He's got the best of both worlds. But
Yeah.
that dude, and he can just choke you out.
He's a beast.
You know what I
He
mean?
is He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's what is he, a black belt in
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu or
Yeah.
something like that? Yeah.
He's a ninja.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He truly is.
And he's a big dude. And what a great
Marine,
chef. And
yeah.
well, that was something we can just start right back now. This is perfect. We're talking about Dom Ruggiero. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Ruggiero. You were talking when we did the burger throwdown. I liked your insight into you observing the guys and the guys and the gals making the food, making the burgers, because there's a lot of interaction going on, right? And you like to see how people move,
Yeah.
right? Like how do they work around all that? And you said that Dom, despite being, what is he, 6'3", 6'4",
He's a
probably
beast.
270,
Yeah.
in good shape.
Yeah.
But you said he's so smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like,
clean. His
yeah.
movements are crisp. Like maybe that's his jujitsu, right? Like
Sure.
he brings
Yeah.
the jujitsu into the kitchen.
Yeah.
But like that's usually why I go first. Like when we did the wing throwdown.
Yeah.
So I went first because I always love, especially at that level. You had Stephen Jones, you got Dom,
Yeah.
Kelly Fletcher, you got Adam.
Yeah.
I don't know who else was in there. Oh, Corey Opold.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Corey. Yeah.
Like you talk about next level
For
like,
sure.
all of those guys. So right when that list came out, I was like, dude, can I go first? 'Cause
Yeah.
I wanted to watch the organization, you know what I mean? Their movement,
Yep.
their communication. That to me is like everything. And Dom being a beast, like that dude is like, I mean, he's so crispy, dude. He just moves so clean, and he wipes as he goes, and he's so nonchalant. He's so organized. You know what I mean? Like he's never behind. He's never lagging. You know what I mean? It's just like he's on it.
That's incredible.
He's one of the best ones to watch, man.
Yeah, and that's why
he's great to taste.
For sure, and that's why he is who he is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, over the last few years, from opening up Hush Public House and Fire at Will, and he's got a couple other ones that it was Vanilla Gorilla. I was kind of bummed that they shut that, but I get it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's you got to kind of make those decisions, and Vanilla Gorilla was a cool spot, great beers, but now Barcina, I think, is going to go in there.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. Like he didn't hesitate. Like whatever that was that made him decide that. Yeah, he pulled the trigger. He's confident in his movement. You know.
Yeah. That's the sign of a like top tier. Yeah. That's a high performer. Yeah. Like someone quick decision. Yeah. This is what we're gonna do.
That's it.
Yeah.
No looking back. No, like, no regrets. Nothing.
For sure.
And that's what he's like in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like he's pretty phenomenal.
Well, and you guys were at the wing throwdown was at Casey's Woodshed, which I thought was a really cool spot. Yeah. You guys were like around, it was like a little Weber grill. Like it wasn't like, it wasn't like on Chopped where you got these big kitchens. Like it was like, that was a small thing to be doing what you guys are doing, but your wing blew me away. Yeah. Like Dom ended up winning. Yeah. Because it was fantastic. Yeah. All of it was fantastic. And you guys paired a wing with a cocktail. Yeah. Yours was my favorite in the essence of just something different. Yeah. Something different. Not that it wasn't the best. It was fantastic, dude, right? I'm digging myself into a hole here. Like
we're already friends. You already won me over. We're friends. We're already friends.
But no, you did a wing that was I think there was coffee in it. It was it was an espresso martini, I think, was paired with it.
And then it was a punch. Basically a play off of milk punch. Yeah. So the idea was to do a breakfast wing with a latte. That was
I would expect nothing less from Jeff Kraus for sure.
So the wings took me a long time to make. Yeah. And they were cooked in schmaltz and then fried. I wasn't gonna mess with that grill.
Yeah.
I was like, dude. Yeah. And the wings were already done. Like I had my wings done. They were confit, and then all we had to do was just kiss them and go. Okay. And then finish it with basically like this tar of coffee and maple, you know what I mean? Because I wanted it to be sticky, you know what I mean? And I also wanted it to represent almost like the crepe that we have, because coffee house, right? Yep. The Grand Prix. So that play off of that, I wanted people to be like, oh, this is like, oh, I get this. Yeah. And then the milk punch was another level from Jacqueline and the Chakra ladies who.
Oh, that's right. Man. Yeah. I didn't meet the Chakra. I met Jacqueline, like Expeditions or something like what I can't remember what her Instagram is, but I can't either. We should. You carry that, right? You carry the Chakra.
Yeah, those ladies. It's a lady-owned distilling company out of Carefree or Cave Creek.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was local.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, we got to get the name. What's the name? Carefree what? What?
Oh, Carefree Bourbon. Okay, I've heard of Carefree Bourbon. So I didn't realize they did the Chakra. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. So when I asked her to do a cocktail, and I was like, milk punch has got to be like a latte. Yeah. Dude, she went into like creative mode, test mode, R&D, and then came up with that, and it was pretty freaking bomb.
It was incredible, man.
But I wanted to go first because I wanted to watch everybody struggle on that little bitty grill. I was like, holy But Dom, guess what? Dom was super smart. Like he was on the food truck. He had all his stuff organized in a different way, because I think he also assessed like where the trouble areas could potentially rise. Yeah. And he just avoided that. Was super smooth with his little white barbecue and the peanut dusting or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that was bomb. Yeah, it was
fantastic, man. Fantastic, man. I mean, I ate the eggs, but I'm still hungry. I'm saving that bread. Yeah.
Well, shout out to the batch.
Noble, right?
No. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Those guys make some incredible stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Use them a lot here.
You can buy loaves here. That's what we use for our egg dishes, toast dishes, side dishes. Yeah. And he's a cool dude.
Yeah. I don't think I've met him. I've met one of the guys at the 24th Street. They have a restaurant on 24th Street. Yeah.
You meet
I don't remember who
Chef Darren?
No, I don't. I think he was like the manager or something.
East Coast? Is he East Coast guy in New York?
No.
New Jersey? No. He'd probably kill me if I said New York and it's New Jersey.
I
just want to say East Coast because I'm not sure. I didn't want to be on his bad side.
Yeah. Well, so, all right. So you've got Tortoise and Hare opening. Goal is early 2024. Looking to get these products kind of more to the masses. Crêpe Bar is expanding. You're like just kind of building up training ground for Tortoise and Hare. What else? Book.
The book.
Got the book.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm bowling, dude.
And bowling, yeah.
I'm
Dude,
bowling.
get back to bowling.
Yeah.
Because I think when we did the original episode, like
Yeah.
you kind of got into that because you were a bowling champion.
Yeah.
But I don't think you had gotten back into bowling yet at that point.
I
right?
stopped in 2000. So I started back up last year.
Okay.
And bowling for me has always been part of my life. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of parallels for me because I managed AMF's food and beverage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I managed the bowling center at college.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that. And I got out of bowling probably 2014 was my last league average, my book average.
Yeah.
And Papa K, the crepe that's on the menu, is named after this guy. And I used to bowl with him. He's like a old homie.
Okay.
And he's like, man, we got a spot on our team. Do you want to bowl? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I haven't bowled since 2014. I'm like, are you sure? So I bowled last year with him. I came in with some old balls. It wasn't even legal anymore.
Yeah.
They're like like the game has changed.
Yeah.
And then for me, it was like with all the stuff that goes on, it was like a break from the craziness, right?
Sure.
But then my lady was like, dude, you're doing this to get away from the craziness, but it seems like you're extremely obsessed with this. Like this is more crazy, but I thrive in that kind of craziness.
Yeah.
So here we are, like going into the second year, and I'm bowling quite a bit, but I want to bridge. We're sponsoring the Ong tournament, the Ong Classic bowling tournament. So there's space in that world for me, and there's space for the bowling world to be in the culinary world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? With better food,
For sure.
better options, better drinks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they're drinking and eating junk, dude. You know what I mean? So I've pitched to a couple of high rollers, getting the granola in for snacks.
Yeah.
Doing some like white label, private label stuff for better energy drinks, coffee drinks, right?
Ooh, yeah.
And just have it sponsored by the PBA and some of these other ball manufacturers that really, own the bowling world.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm working on.
That's
on
cool.
That. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Congrats.
Thanks, bub.
Right. Getting back to the, D'Lo.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So D'Lo, he's coaching me, doing some business coaching for me and stuff. And I filled out this, basically he's got like this, what is it? The 4 F's D'Lo? I'm sorry. 3 F's, 4 F's. It's like finance, family, something. But it was like an exercise and like, okay, what did you like to do as a kid? Right.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, I haven't really thought about this in a long time. Right. So I'm like, shit, I used to love riding bikes.
Yeah.
I used to love riding bikes. And he's like, why don't you get a bike? I'm like, hell yeah.
Something that simple. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. But it's something like, and it's something to kind of take you back. Like it's, I don't want to say an escape from what we're doing, but it's a change of chaos, right? It's a change of what you're doing. And it's
in the healthiest way.
Yeah.
It's not like a distraction that's like causing anything worse. You know what I mean?
It's not like he's like, hey, you know what, dude? You did bong hits in college.
Do it again.
Start doing bong hits again, man. Yeah. but no. So like riding a bike or bowling or something like that. Those are like it's. I mean, in some ways, that part of our life was, for me, it was not more peaceful.
Yeah.
It was simpler. Right? It was a lot more simple.
Yeah. Yep.
Everything today seems to be, everything's a big decision. And no matter what, like you've got big shit going on, a nice little escape, going bowling. But there are ways that you can kind of implement that in.
Yeah. And I love that world, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when the show aired, the whole bowling center, Bolero, shout out to Bolero. They pretty much own every bowling center around. They aired it. They put it on. So you talk about like you wouldn't have ever thought like bowlers would even be into the Food Network.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's like every screen, no sports. It was all, me on the supermarket steak.
Awesome.
Even though it ended quick, they could go right back to their sports. But
sweet. I was hoping he would lose.
Yeah. Right. But man, that world is like a lot to me.
Yeah.
I bowled in college. I grew up bowling. I worked as a ball fitter forever.
Yeah.
And I still am in touch with those people. Right. So I just recently pitched. And I hope, fingers crossed, I'm just going to throw this out there to like nudge them. But the PBA, I got a buddy who is always on the FS. Like he's part of the PBA that represents that.
Okay.
And gets, the shows going and up and running.
Yeah.
Well, I hit him up. I'm sitting in there in this like brainstorming session of myself. And I was like, dude, what if the Food Network chefs crossed over and bowled with professional bowlers to, raise money for a charity, which they do like a celebrity bowl off, right? And they do a NASCAR collaboration, but they've never crossed over to another network like Food Network.
Yeah.
So I hit up Chef Aaron May, Guy Fieri. I'm like, dude, what do you call 3 strikes in a row? I'm like, a turkey. What do you guys think about doing a bowling tournament right? With the PBA where you pair up with a bowler,
Yeah.
raise money for like Guy Fieri's foundation. That dude has done a lot for our industry,
For
especially
sure.
during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of foundations. He's got a lot of great causes. And everybody, I mean, I think he should run for president.
Yeah.
To be honest with
I
you.
love Guy Fieri.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
So if he were to go in and bowl, you know, for one of his charities, like
Yeah.
that would throw ratings through the roof. And FS said without a doubt, if they get the approval, if they say yeah, they'll make a show out of it.
Really?
Yeah, without even
like
question.
following like a what do you mean, like a show, like a
bowl off.
okay,
Like how they do the PBAs. I don't know if you ever watched like Chris Paul. Like Chris Paul gets on there and they do a celebrity bowling tournament event, right? So they instantly he responded back and he goes, if they say yes, if these chefs say yes, we'll make a show out of it.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
that would
badass.
that would be super badass.
That's really cool. That's really, I mean, and why not include like food is like prevalent everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
it truly is.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah. I'm pretty stoked for that. So I hope that's only been in the works for a few weeks. You know what I mean? If you guys like Chef Aaron May, such a beautiful dude.
Yeah. I haven't met him. I want to meet him.
Man, he's so, you got to, dude. He's like, I mean, he's an inspiration to me. You know what I mean? He's a homie, but he also inspires me to just do better.
Yeah.
He's great. And, you know, Over Easy and all that, that was his project a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I met him at the Old Town Farmers Market.
Okay.
I had a chef in there. He was cooking, and here comes Chef Aaron May. Aaron May, like, no joke, not just because he's on Food Network all the time, but he truly does shop at the farmers markets.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like he walks and talks that, you know what I mean? It's not for show.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you're talking Truckin Good Food, 2010, 2011. Aaron May's walking through Old Town Farmers Market, and I had a cook. His name was Jason Lessing. We called him Hawk Daddy.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God. That's Chef Aaron May. He's like geeking out. And I'm like, who the hell? I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, who's the hell? He's like, that guy.
Yeah.
And he's the only guy that's he's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's big, tall, you know what I mean? He takes up space.
Big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't miss
Great
him.
energy.
Yeah.
And I go down, I'm like, Chef, like, my name's Jeff. I got the Truckin Good Food here. And I'm like, I got a cook up here. Is there any way you can say hi to him? Without question, dude.
Yeah.
Aaron comes up and he had a duck to get in the truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like heads down.
Yeah.
And he gives a little pat on the back and he's like, keep up the good work, Chef. And gave him a handshake. And that dude made that dude's day. Like
that's awesome.
Year.
Yeah.
You know, if not lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the story I think of when people talk about Aaron May. That dude, I mean, without a question, he's just genuinely pretty special. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Dude, you got a lot of good shit going on, man.
Oh man, I love life.
Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
Always, man. Always.
Yeah.
I want to have a series. Like we need to get the light rail to go up to my house.
Oh yeah.
Right. And then come down this way a little bit further. And then I can just like come down here. We can have some drinks, do a podcast, talk about whatever.
I got space next door. You should open this up with me.
Man, somebody once told me don't get into the food and beverage industry, but
right. What are you doing? What the heck?
That was my grandma. Actually, my grandma owned our town restaurant like for 20 years.
Cool, right on.
But she would always say, I mean, that's kind of, dude, even when I'm doing a podcast with somebody and they're like, oh yeah, come in through the back and you know, you smell the grease and you smell like like whatever it is. I love it. I love that smell. And it just takes me back to my grandma's restaurant and, you know, man, I don't know why it took me so long to realize that this is my world, you know, and it's different though, right? Because I can never see myself back there in the kitchen. Right. And you don't, for me, it was always like, I don't want to be a chef. I don't want to do this, you know, so I'll look elsewhere. And I'm like, well, shit. What if I had some microphone, or, you know, microphones and a camera? Maybe I can do it this way. So I'm very fortunate to you know, find my way in this industry.
Did you help our industry out quite a bit?
I appreciate it, man.
You deliver great messages all the way around, and you give everybody a chance. It's
pretty
cool.
I appreciate it. I do. So if you guys are doing any sort of food things, if you're listening to this and you need a judge, I can eat and drink really well. I can do it.
And he's a fair judge.
I am.
Yeah. You were fair.
I was. But well,
even
dude,
on your own beer, like you didn't favor. You were fair.
I was. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to. You know, sometimes I wish I would favor myself a little bit more, but that sounded weird.
No,
but All right, man. Well, dude,
Appreciate you, brother.
You too, man. I appreciate you. Always keep up the good work, my friend. Also, real quick, the Stay Gold, the Betty White thing, that's awesome. Like, it's like, you can't see it if you're watching because it's up there. But it is a very beautiful, looks like an old school painting. It's like a portrait of Betty White and her knuckles are sticking out. It says Stay Gold.
Check him out, Jared Aubel, Aubel.
Okay.
He does all the work on the side, along with Andy Brown. But Jared is, he's the one that does all the knucks.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. All right, buddy. Well, hey, this is your day off. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate you, man.
Love you, man.
Love you, brother.